Sure, it's got killer fried chicken, but could Chick-fil-A's grilled chicken be a real killer? According to one of the chain's recalls, it might have been. The most recent recall that hit Chick-fil-A took place in 2024 and concerned its Polynesian sauce. The containers of this sauce were mislabeled, making it potentially dangerous for those with certain allergies who had read the label and assumed that they would be safe dipping their fries and nuggets. The company moved quickly to announce its Polynesian sauce recall, adding signs in its stores, putting a banner on its website, and sending out an alert on its mobile app. The problem was with supplier T. Marziti Co., which produced Polynesian sauce cups that actually contained sriracha instead. Anyone with a wheat or soy allergy could have potentially had an allergic reaction to the sauce, assuming they were eating a sauce that was safe for them. After all, the Polynesian sauce has been around since 1984 and is quite familiar to those who frequent the restaurant. It would reasonably be known as a normally safe option for those with soy and wheat allergies. While the potentially mislabeled sauces weren't in every Chick-fil-A, they were in quite a few, with locations in 27 out of 48 states affected by the recall. While Chick-fil-A stopped distributing the sauce at its restaurants, it was still concerned about leftover packets lingering in homes. The restaurant asked anyone who had received potentially affected packets of Polynesian sauce between February 14th and February 27th, 2024 to discard them. When J.P. Powers and his mom Francine visited Chick-fil-A on August 13, 2022, they specifically asked whether the nuggets they were ordering contained any dairy products because of J.P.'s life-threatening allergy to the ingredient. After being told that they were safe, the teenager sat down to eat his meal. He proceeded to have an allergic reaction so strong that his throat started to close up and he needed emergency medical care. The family filed a lawsuit with the New York Supreme Court. The restaurant initially claimed that there was no dairy in the nuggets. However, upon further research, it turned out that Chick-fil-A was very, very wrong.
Oh, no.
Later in that month, the restaurant admitted that its supplier had made a mistake that meant the product's actual ingredients didn't match the allergen information advertised on the Chick-fil-A website. As a result, both the grilled chicken nuggets and grilled chicken fillets indeed contained dairy products. The chain immediately let the public know about its mistake and demanded new grilled chicken products from its supplier without any dairy included. Chick-fil-A had an allergen-related recall in 2016 that directly affected its chocolate chunk cookies. With the passage of the Food Allergen Labeling and Consumer Protection Act in 2004, food companies were required to clearly list allergens on packaging. This also led to numerous recalls for undeclared allergens. While the act doesn't strictly apply to restaurants, many establishments like Chick-fil-A have become more allergen aware, listing potentially harmful ingredients and recalling foods with possible allergens to avoid lawsuits. The chain's chocolate chunk cookies were among the first allergy-related recalls for Chick-fil-A. CSM Bakery Solutions, the supplier for the restaurant's chocolate chunk cookies, let Chick-fil-A know that the cookies may have been contaminated with peanuts during production. Since the restaurant lists the cookies as nut-free, it was quick to pull the treats out of stores so as not to accidentally activate someone's peanut allergies, which can turn deadly. The company estimated it could get a limited number of safe cookies back on the dessert menu within a week or two. However, it didn't commit to having its normal supply for a full month, while CSM Bakery Solutions was making up the difference for the recalled cookies. Operating under an abundance of caution, Chick-fil-A asked customers to get rid of any cookies they had acquired before April 22, 2016, when the recall was enacted. It was also possible to bring your uneaten cookie to a local Chick-fil-A spot and ask for a refund. The earliest recalls that Chick-fil-A had concerned toys from its kids' meals, including a Muppets toy in 2012. While the stated issue with the toy was related to safety, it had ties to a boycott as well. On July 19, 2012, Chick-fil-A recalled all its Jim Henson's Creature Shop puppet toys from its kids' meals, ostensibly because of safety concerns. The restaurant claimed that some children managed to get their fingers wedged in the puppets and had difficulty getting them out. The Muppet toys were scheduled from the middle of July until the middle of August. After they were pulled, kids received an ice cream cone instead, until the next toy campaign started. However, at the time of the recall, it didn't appear that any kid had incurred any such reported injuries, leading some to speculate that there was more going on than simple safety concerns. That's because of a statement made by then-President Dan Cathy, who had said that the restaurant only supported heterosexual couples.
Having a loving, supportive mom and dad raising us three kids had been a great experience for me.
This was reportedly offensive to the Jim Henson Company, which then decided to boycott the restaurant on July 20th, the day after the recall. The Jim Henson Company sent all the money earned from the toys prior to the boycott to the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Discrimination, also known as GLAAD. While Chick-fil-A later issued a statement that it would respect customers regardless of sexual orientation, the damage was done. It also claimed that the recall and the boycott were unrelated. The earliest kids' meal toy recall at Chick-fil-A, which took place in 2001 and centered on toys that were part of the Planet Discovery collection, had no apparent political or social complications. Yet, there were several doubts raised about safety. These kids' meal toys were collectible plastic discs that featured the sun, moon, and all the planets.
Yeah, we're both in space.
They also had a suction cup on the back that allowed kids to stick them onto surfaces such as windows. However, the suction cup could easily come off of the toy. The company received 7 reports of the suction cup detaching from the toy, with one report of a parent catching a small child choking on the detached part. Luckily, no children were seriously harmed, but a recall was clearly merited. Over 1.5 million toys had already been given out in 800 restaurants in January 2001 alone. Ultimately, the company recalled around 3.8 million toys across the US and planned to replace the toys with safer versions. Chick-fil-A warned parents that they should not let young children play with the toy and allowed customers to swap the potentially harmful toys for an ice cream dessert.